What's up everyone, it's your boy Scott, and welcome to the Scott Report. And today we're here to talk about Mobile Suit Gundam The Wish from Mercury episode 6. And is it anybody that gets a happy birthday song to them in this series just going to be cursed? Is that what we're going with? Because, well, for those of you who are experiencing Gundam for the first time, welcome aboard to the pain train, because this is what Gundam does to you. This is what I was trying to get you guys ready for with this episode and the recaps beforehand. Getting you ready for that punch in the gut that you were going to get, because when the losses come, it will hit you like a ton of bricks, and sometimes it may even come in waves. I didn't expect to lose a major character this quick though. That's even surprised me. It's making me start to wonder, do I have to get like a death count going for this series or something? But for now, let's just start at 1 with the big heartfelt rest in peace to Enhanced Human 4, or Elan as we knew him. This Peril tech group, they just need to be stopped, because if they are the main villains after this, then who knows how crazy this series will get. The type of things that they were doing is just villainous and vile, and it shows how inhumane they can be and what they're trying to do with trying to perfect this whole project. Just to end Elan's life like he was nothing, like he was truly just a number. And even what's even more messed up is that what they're doing is probably more inhumane than the gun project experiments itself. I mean, I know that's kind of mixing apples with oranges, but it's still along the same things. I mean, they basically said you failed to capture the Ariel, so bye-bye. And what makes it even worse is that they're twisted enough to send another enhanced human out. They're just gonna pack up another Aline and send him out there, probably with like a clear memory, which makes them even more jerks. And we also got to meet the original Aline, who was just as much as a prick as the rest of the Pale group. He's the villain. He has to be the villain, or he's part of the main villains. I mean, I just don't like how these guys operate. They have everything it takes to be the hate group. So usually Gundam is a little bit of a gray area, like you can kind of see and understand what's going on with both sides, but I don't like these guys at all. Maybe we will just have like a one-sided battle with this. The things that Prospera are doing in behind the background kind of also makes her a little bit suspect, but for now, it doesn't seem like she's as bad as these guys until we find out what's going on with these experiments. Again, I just wouldn't put it past these guys to act like nothing happened and just swapping out another A-line like nothing went on, and you can just see it from the demeanor from the original that we got from him this episode. He tried to string 4 along too with a promise of making him his own individual when the deed is done, but 4 always knew when it was all said and done that his end will come. Even if it was just by being a pilot, he knew it was going to come in some shape, form, or fashion. And this just adds to the sadness of it all, because he really never saw a better path for himself. But at least he did have the pleasure of having Suletta sing happy birthday to him before his duel, which was probably one of the sweetest moments in Gundam ever. He didn't have a real one, so she decided to declare the day his birthday and make it more complete. And her conditions with winning was for him to open up to her once everything was said and done. Sadly, that moment was taken from us, because before he can even get to fulfill that wish for Suletta, he was taken away from us. So I don't know, it was a heavy episode. It was really heavy. This is what Gundam does, and this is the Gundam that I'm more familiar with, just building you up, getting you happy, getting you attached to these characters, and then taking them away. And that's not taken away from Elan as a character too. I mean, he held a lot of resentment for Suletta because she had everything in his eyes. She had a past, she has a future, she has friends, she has a Gundam. She doesn't have the curse, and while he was just created to pilot a suit, so it just makes it all heartbreaking for the short time that he's been around for him to have this much of an impact as a character. So I have to give kudos to the writing and how they built this along, because this was great. This was how you build a story. Again, this is how you get people to care about the characters before they do what they decide to do. And for them to do it, we're only in episode 6 and we already have a passing of a character that made us feel like this. You really have to take your hats off to this series. And even though he did meet a cruel end, he did get to have some sort of a memory of a past and a little bit of happiness from being with Suletta in his last moments, and seeing that, you know, he does remember someone who celebrated happy birthday to him. Maybe we'll get into more of that later. Maybe he really is a clone. It really is up in the air now. I mean, we saw the original one saying, you know, you're a clone of me. Maybe it's more DNA thing. Maybe he really does have a past. I'm really interested in seeing where they're going with that. But seeing him having that little last bit of happiness and Aries sing a happy birthday before she died, just like Aries' father before he was killed back in the prologue. Like, come on, Gundam, don't do this to us. Don't do this to our hearts, please. The biggest thing for me was seeing the Ariel express a little bit of sentience in this episode when it seemingly activated the EMP that shuts down a Gundam on its own, thus making Elan's suit immobile and allowing her to get the victory. We saw his tech briefly in the prologue. Now, it's kind of unclear, at least it is for me, if she activated or if the Ariel did it on its own. That's been something I've wondered about since the beginning, and honestly something I would love to see in Gundam. We've grown to know the characters and we have our favorites and our suits and whatnot, but pilots of course have their own attachments to their suits. We've seen that before too, but we've never seen the actual Gundam itself become, more capable of expression or feelings outside of maybe horror and, also just program responses, but, it acts more like a conscious. Maybe with the Ariel, we'll probably see a Gundam that actually has feelings, so I'm looking forward to that. That's the path they're going on as well. Suletta's mom always said that Ariel was like family or a sister, and last week there was a subtle hint that Suletta may actually have a sibling out there. But is it an actual person, or is this some way that the Gundams themselves are humans or have human traits, or maybe even a soul? Who knows? Who knows the path that is going down, but I like the position that this series has put us in, and I like the path that they're going down if this is the case. We also get a little bit more insight on Lady Prospera and Belle. The lady that we saw talking to Prospera at the end of last week's episode, they have a past with each other, and Belle expresses that she had no choice but to join the Barrier group. So when that raid happened in the prologue, I'm sure she was captured then and then made to work for them ever since. Even though all of Pale are scum to me right now, Belle may have some room for redemption, as she was against how Elan was treated when he was of no use to the Pale group no more. So she was the only person that really treated Elan like a person, so you can kind of see some redeeming qualities. I kind of see her having a change of heart and joining Prospera and her cause or wherever that may be in the future. There's a lot going on in the houses as well. Miorine is of course upset that Suletta chose to duel without her consent. Gyul has actually been kicked out of the Burdick house, which is good riddance, but that's like his third loss, and his family just straight up disowned him, which is kind of sucky too. But it seems like he will probably just end up in the Earth house when this is all over. It seems like that's just going to be the house for everybody that, gets kicked out. It's going to end up being a friend group before the series is all over. Sadiq is still interested in Suletta and her ability to make people change their ways as she prepares for a duel with Elan. And all the while this is going on, she just wants to know what Elan's birthday is. I mean, is that too much to ask? We also get to see Ariel's first upgrade too, since her battle will be in airspace. She had a thruster pack for the duel. So the Earth house and everybody there are just precious gems, and they rallied together and just decided to build her a suit. I really like these kids. So again, I really hope the Gundam gods protect them, because we know they can be taken from us at any time. So bless this house, please. I'm also really interested in why Elan heard voices from Suletta's gun bits. Maybe there's some weight there. Maybe there is actually some type of conscious or souls being transmitted into the suits. Until we find out for sure, we'll just have to chew on that to know. But again, another interesting point in them just putting little seeds there for us to chew on and think about as each episode goes along. This episode really tore me apart. I'm aware of what Gundam can do when I signed up for watching it and when I became a long-term watcher of the franchise. But let me know what you guys thought and how you feel about this episode in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time. So without further ado, if you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell so you'll be notified when my video drop next, and I'll catch you guys next time. As I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.